Okay, we are live. Hita, you might want to start. Thank you.
Good afternoon to everyone present here. My name is Hita and my co-host is Ankita. We are counselors in Delhi Public School, Bangalore North. We are here today on account of World Mental Health Day. It is a day to educate and raise awareness of the issues surrounding mental health and to advocate for a better understanding of mental health around the world. As teachers, we are often focused on the physical, emotional, and mental well being of the children in our care. We are nurturers by nature, and teacher well being often falls off the radar. But just like an oxygen mask in an airplane, it is only when we first take care of ourselves that we are fully fit to support those in our classrooms as well. Just imagine this: students from different backgrounds, different learning levels, and different needs packed in a single classroom. One teacher constantly trying to do their best to bring out the best in their students all day long. Beyond just that, checking assessments, making rigorous lesson plans, collecting resources, following best practices, communicating with parents, and taking care of the students' overall development is all part of a teacher's everyday routine. That's what just a part of a teacher's day is like. Teachers are accustomed to caring about the social emotional well being of students and are trained to keep a check on signs of anxiety, depression, bullying, and aggression. Yet we are still learning how to talk about a huge hidden threat to our work, our own mental health. Ms. Ankita will now introduce the speaker for the day. Over to you, Ankita.
Thank you so much, Hita, for that warm welcome and explaining wonderfully the importance of mental health. Good afternoon to all the amazing audience present here. Yes, I definitely agree that as teacher, it's a huge responsibility to focus on the overall well-being of the children. And because of this, many times we tend to ignore our own mental health. So here today, we have Mr. Mayank Solanki, who is going to guide us to keep ourselves mentally healthy. Mr. Mayank is the founder and chairperson of Valid Initiatives. He co-founded his first social enterprise, Yuva Ignited Minds, at the age of 18 years and has been active in several national and international initiatives from a young age, along with being a part of several companies, startups, and NGOs. Immensely creative and prolific speaker, he has led by example in bringing values and character education to the forefront of conversations across India. Here are some of the amazing achievements which I would like to share with you. Mr. Mayank was a winner of the Times of India I Lead India initiative and was chosen as the top 5 young leaders for Bangalore Youth Program 2014 and also in the Rotary Group's Young Achiever Award 2016. He was also the only Indian and youngest member of the Global Experts Panel on World Character Day 2016. That's really inspiring. So I'm sure all of us are waiting to listen to you, sir. So without further delay, I would like to welcome Mr. Mayan Solanki. Sir, the platform is yours now.
Thank you so much to both Hita and Ankita for the warm welcome and all the audience members who have joined in both at Zoom and at the YouTube space. Thank you so much for your time. And it is probably my, as I mentioned, honor to be part of this amazing group of institutions where thousands of children get educated every year, and your legacy is one which no one needs an introduction to. And I'm especially thankful to Dr. Preeti, she being the key person who actually invited me and had ensured that I had an opportunity to be part of this. Uh, I want to add one more probable thing to what both Ankita and Hita mentioned about. Today is also a celebration, a tribute to every single teacher, every single staff member right now at the DPS family. While World Health Mental Health Day is one of the most beautiful occasions, which definitely is need of the hour, which we are talking about, I also want to let each and every single person who's listening in to know that today is also about you. It's also about recognizing, appreciating, respecting the amazing kind of hard work which you put every single day, especially during these difficult times. The kind of example and the role modeling that you have done not only inspire your children and your parents, but every single person working in any field today has somewhere probably got this inspiration from you. I probably heard this the other day that teachers are building and flying the plane at the same time. Now that really counts for something. I'm going to repeat that for impact. You're building and flying the plane at the same time. It's a completely new setup for all of us, and we're trying to find and navigate our way of how it can be done, how it should be done. There's no pre-reference material to see to any of this, but we are finding a way out. And for me, that's an amazing kind of work which all of you have done, and you've inspired every single person. For me, the today first 5 to 10 minutes is all about making you feel really nice about the job that you're doing, the work that you're doing, and the way you're going about it. Probably at the end of these 45-50 minutes, if you got up with a feeling that I didn't know that I was doing such an amazing job, मुझे नहीं पता था कि मेरे काम का इतना effect है. If I achieve that, then I think I've done justice, because that's what my intention is. And I'll tell you why so. A month back from today, almost about a month and a week from here, uh, a few days before Teachers' Day, I recognized something, that this year Teachers' Day is going to be so different. Now, a lot of us are used to probably having children coming in and giving flowers to us, a card to us, give us a hug. Children do, some songs, some skits, some dance. They probably take one class of the day also, which is a traditional thing, which happens in most schools. And all of us miss that. I also, as an educator, miss that. And I knew that this year that's not going to be the case. Yes, children came up with different ways. They recorded videos for us, song for us. They sent us messages. We still feel the warmth, but something was missing. And I said, what can I do for it? And I said that I reached out to one of my principal and I said that, ma'am, I just want to spend time, and I want to really tell a teacher that जो आप कर रहे हो उससे फर्क पड़ता है, and it really makes a difference. And that's how I went about this process. My one of my principals whom I had worked with earlier gave me this chance, and I think I started with, I think, about 100 principals, teachers whom I spoke with. And I'm so happy to share today, Dr. Preeti, you're going to be, for me at least, in my own personal journal on my record book, that today, because of you, in a matter of 1 month, I have reached out and spoke and delivered this session to 1,000 teachers in India. And it really makes a huge difference to me personally, that I could be part of something like this. Dear teachers and dear educators, it takes a big heart to shape little minds, and you have that. And whether you're watching me on YouTube, I can't see you, but what really matters is that I really want you to take your right hand, put it on your shoulder, and give yourself a pat on your back. That aap itna acha kaam kar rahe ho. And this is very important to do. Huh? This isn't just because that I feel awkward, like why should I do this to myself? No one's watching anyways. Dear teachers, still do it, because I think the best example I can give you is the movie Three Idiots, right? Those three words, which probably that mantra is now so famous all across the world. All is well. कि मन को बेवकूफ बना के रखना है कि भैया सब चल रहा है, सब ठीक है, सब अच्छा है, भले कैसा भी हो. But telling to your heart that everything is fine is very important, because you have to, sometimes what we think about is what we bring about. And dear teachers, आप तो कर भी रहे हो, आप तो डिजर्व भी करते हो, बस अपने आप को थैंक्स नहीं बोलते, अपने आप को अप्रिशिएट नहीं करते. And probably that's one of your greatest and your weakest quality at the same time. That you have no need of anyone's applause, because for you it's the cause which inspires. But teachers, take your hand and give yourself a pat on the back that you're doing such a great thing. Because for me, teachers are one of my favorite creatures. And I'm actually going to use that word, creatures, बिकॉज जब मैं स्कूल में था, आई फील दैट मुझे जितना मेरी टीचर्स ने डांटा है, इन हाइंडसाइट इट्स वेरी डिफरेंट स्टोरी, बट जितना मेरी टीचर्स ने मुझे डांटा है, आई रियली फाउंड देम डिफिकल्ट टू लाइक. But over a period of time, I think, at least when I was in my 8th, 9th, and 10th, very different transformational years for me. And it really made a difference. And I really saw that my teacher was my second mother, and my mother was my second teacher. And that love really started building from there. And I can't forget some of the most amazing things my teacher have told, that during those days when I never believed in myself, some teacher came up to me and said that, "Tu karega. भले कोई कुछ भी कहे. If no one believes you also, Mayank, even if you don't believe, I believe you will do it. And I remember my mathematics teacher telling this to me that, Mayank, if there are two people in this class who can score a centum in mathematics, it's either you and there was one more girl called Neha. And what she said made a huge difference. I was a guy who used to score 70, 75. I don't think I got more than 80 in my maths till that point of time. And that entire story really changed because I scored 97 in my mathematics in 10th standard because that teacher told, I believe you. Dear teachers, for every single child, today I want you to imagine in my eyes, in my face, and in my voice, every single child that you have taught in your career so far. On behalf of all of them, I want to say thank you so much, ma'am. कि आपने मुझे, you believed in me then when even I did not believe in me. For believing in children, dear teachers, thank you so much. You deserve a pat on your back. Dear teachers, for me, you are the creators of society. I remember, in my field of work, as ma'am mentioned in my introduction, that we work in the field of values and life skills. And there's one school in Chennai where we work. And on the principal's desk, I'll never forget that. On the principal's desk, there's a beautiful quote and a note which is put over there. It says that the future of the country is not built in industries, in courtrooms, or in fields. It's built inside the classroom. And by that logic, teachers are the first and foremost nation builders. Dear teachers, आप इस देश का भविष्य, अतीत और भूत तीनों बना रहे हो. You are making the past, present, and future of this country. Because when teachers do a good job, Sanskriti happens, and children and people of all ages arise upwards like a lotus in muddy waters. A lotus stays over there, but it never becomes muddy. It always goes upwards. And dear teachers, it is because of you that pride for one's culture and heritage is established and maintained. If today all of us are enjoying and proud of where we are, it's because you instilled and inculcated that. Thank you so much, teachers, for helping us believe and understand the beautiful land and heritage that we all come from. For that, you deserve one more pat on your back. Like this, and I think, and this is probably one of my favorite things to mention, from God comes the soul or atma in our culture, right? Which is the possibility of love. There's no soul, there's no possibility of love. From parents comes your physical flesh, which is, in one sense, you could say, from parents comes the protective love, who protects you, who nurtures you. From your partner comes supportive love, who supports you all your life. From your friend comes accompanying love, who accompanies you in ups and downs, in failures and successes, brings masti in your life. From society comes the rules of love. They tell you that how do you be with whom, where, when, and everything. But it's only from a teacher comes the art of love. Okay, what is love? It is a teacher or a guru who teaches, not just by words, but by experience. Dear teachers, because of you, a child learns how to be a good son or a good daughter. They learn how to be a good citizen. They learn how to be a good human being. They learn how to be a good friend. They learn how to be a good brother or a good sister. They learn also how to be good partners tomorrow, because you teach literally so many things. हमारा जो समाज है, the society, that also is built because of you. And when you see all of these things, there is so much for all of us to thank. And I read this quote the other day that if there was someone you could put on a pedestal, it must be the teacher, because they deserve the highest place in our society. Now I'll come to the other part of it. In the poster and the message which the team, the counseling team, sent out to all of you, there were three words which was used: Dant, Disha, and Dasha. Now, what that means is, start, as all of us know, probably there would be rarely anyone over here who's not got scolded in their life, or probably hasn't scolded someone else. That's scolding. Disha is direction, and Dasha is circumstance or outcomes. And we'll talk about these three things today, and I'll try to connect all of them together. But before we go over there, probably as a baseline of it, I want to ask probably someone who's there on the Zoom call right now, right? If you were to ask a small child in your, say, primary section, how to make iced tea, how do you think they would answer? Anyone can probably take a guess in the Zoom space. If I told a primary child, how do you make iced tea? How do you think they would answer? Okay,
They'll
I'll take Jennifer,
yeah.
ma'am.
They'll just say, take a cup of tea, put ice into it, it and it becomes iced tea.
Beautiful, right? Thank you, Jennifer ma'am. तो primary level का बच्चा ये answer करेगा. If I asked a middle school child, how would a middle school child answer? The end of the story is very interesting otherwise. How would a middle school child answer? Anyone wants to give a try for that? Okay, let's ask.
Hi. Yeah, actually, they will say take the ice and then you pour the tea into that.
Okay, they'll do the other way around. This
Yes.
is very nice. So now the third level, okay? How would your high school student answer? How would a high school student answer? कि iced tea कैसे बनाते हैं? What would probably their answer be? You got some two very interesting answers. How would the third one be? इतना सोच रहे हो आप तो teachers हो. Probably you spend some time with these students on an everyday basis. Okay, let me ask probably Jennifer ma'am itself again. Let me see what she would say. How would probably a high school student answer this?
Yeah, they will give the proper recipe. Go to the shop, buy the ice tube, sachet of that, put it in water, stir it, and the iced tea is ready. The instant iced tea mix.
Very good. So there'll be much more detail. But Jennifer ma'am, now I'm going to ask you that you will have to answer this question on behalf of all teachers. If I ask this question to a teacher, कि ma'am, iced tea कैसे बनाया जाता है? How would a teacher answer this?
Probably the right way.
So what's the right way, ma'am? If I would, this is your point. This is my
Right way is, the procedure will be told in steps. Take a jar, pour ice water into it, cut the sachet, pour the content into the jug, stir it, keep it in the fridge, take it and cool, and serve it cool.
Very nice, Jennifer ma'am. Thank you so much
Thank
for your
you.
beautiful answer. देखिए बहुत बढ़िया आपने answer दिया. I want to share with you one of the coolest answers I got during these amazing sessions which I have done with different schools across. One of the best answers I received was, Mayank, this is how I would make iced tea. First, I will go home, I will take out my favorite vessel and I will make a hot cup of filter coffee. Okay, filtered. And what I will do is that गर्मा गर्म चाय या कॉफी बना के मैं स्कूल जाऊंगी और जैसे मैं स्कूल पहुंचूंगी आई एम श्योर दैट 100 errands will come to me. Principal ma'am will give me some work, my children will give me some work, attendance taking, staff room is something, my colleague will tell me one gossip story, my something will happen, my that will happen. By the time I get done with this entire thing, I will have in my hand a ice cold tea in my hand. And that is how I will make a hot tea into an iced tea. Dear teachers, there is a moment of laughter in this story, but at the same time, there is a moment of realization in this story. हमारी जो टीचर्स हैं, हमारी जो अध्यापिका हैं, हमारी जो शिक्षक हैं, हमारे जो गुरु हैं, वो सबका ध्यान रखते हैं. घर में they will take care of children, they will take care of their spouses or their partners, they will take care of their parents, they'll take care of their in-laws, they will take care of cousins, they'll take care of extended family, they'll take care of culture and traditions and sanskriti, they'll take care of neighbors, they'll take care of samaj, everyone. Unfortunately, the last person they'll take care is of themselves. और ये सच है. As they say, without, I mean, Mahatma Gandhi's one of his very less known quotes is that real wealth is health, not pieces of silver and gold. That's a real quote by Mahatma Gandhi. And without mental health, what is health? There is no fit, there is no happy, there is no health without the mental aspect being taken care of it. Dear teachers, आज I want to tell all of you also that आप हम सब का इतना ध्यान रखते हैं, आप हम सबको इतना प्रेम करते हैं. अब self love is also very important, and self love is not selfish love. I will repeat that for impact. Self love is not selfish love. जो अपने आप की रक्षा ना कर सके, जो अपना खुद का ध्यान ना रख सके, उसमें किसी और का ध्यान रखने की काबिलियत कैसे होगी? If we are not able to take care of ourselves, if we are not that amazing shining example of bliss, how can we give that to someone else? That's something to think about. This World Mental Health Day or week or month, probably think about this thing. That are you taking care of yourself enough? Sometimes it's completely okay to do some things which are crazy, like a lot of our children do. Why did this child do this? What joy did he get out of it? Sometimes you don't need a reason for joy. Joy is the reason. There is no way to happiness. Happiness is the way. Like the same way, you can't fight your way to peace. Peace is the way to not fighting. तो आप सोचिए ना, why are you making things so complicated that you need a reason and a logic and a foundation and a principle for every single thing in life? Drop it. Sometimes that is probably the most important and the easiest thing to do. To laugh on yourself is probably one of the most, I think, healthiest activities one can do. But think about that. How many of you are able to do that? And I want to talk about one of the first things which I mentioned about the dart part of it, right? Like I mentioned, like so many of us get scolded in life. So many of us have scolded someone else over here. But Meri ichha, and this is my wish for every single person. And Dr. Preeti, listen to this carefully because you invited me knowing this, I might do this. I wish every single person over here, her teacher, in between this teacher's day and the coming teacher's day, you become so amazing at scolding your children, so amazing at scolding your children कि इतना डांट लगाए और इतना अच्छा डांट लगाए कि every student says, if I want to get scolded, I want to get scolded by Namita ma'am, by Hita ma'am, by Preeti ma'am, by Jennifer ma'am. Wow, I really wanted to scold me. आप डांट में इतनी अच्छे बने. And you know why, ma'am? Because डांट is nothing but feedback. It is recalibration. And here's the thing. डांट दो तरह के थप्पड़ होते हैं. There are two types of slaps which are hidden in life. And not all slaps are physical, by the way. There are two types of slap. एक थप्पड़ वो जो दुश्मन को मिटाने के लिए मारा जाता है और एक थप्पड़ वो जो बच्चे को बनाने के लिए मारा जाता है. One is to destroy your enemy and one is to create character. Dear children, dear teachers, I'm sorry. Dear teachers, may your scolding, may your feedback to children be so beautiful, so empowering, so uplifting that their character is built because of it. And all of us know there was this one turning point in all of our life where one scolding, one dart, one experience, one recalibration of ours changed and became a turning point as a child to us, as an adult to us, as a teen to us. And I'm very sure all of us have. Probably boys have it more than girls, but we have it for sure. And what is this recalibration? And थप्पड़ भी जब लगता है तो क्या होता है? जब जोर से थप्पड़ लगता है, गाल पे लगती है, हिल जाता है, कॉन्शियस हिल जाता है, and वो इसीलिए होता है कि जागो, get up, become aware, see what you're doing, think what you're saying. That is feedback. And dear teachers, अगर आप बच्चों को feedback नहीं देंगे तो कौन देगा? But the reason why Dant is such an amazing thing to celebrate but also to think about is because is your dart coming from the perspective of giving feedback and improvement and uplifting, or is it coming from a perspective where it instills fear in them? क्योंकि डांट कभी कभार डर को लाता भी है और डर को एम्पलीफाई भी कर देता है. A child will become more and more scared, which leads to decreasing in confidence and it leads to many long-term effects, both mentally and physically. I will tell you probably a story now. And stories are something which a lot of us both love to listen, and you are educators. I'm sure you would have told a lot of stories in your life. All of us have heard about the epic of Ramayana, at least an overall story of it. And in that, there's one specific aspect of it, which talks about this experience of Ram coming to during the Swayamvar, right? He's in the kingdom of Koshala, where Raja Janak and Sita and all of them are there to win this hand. And the simple contest over there is to lift and string the bow of Lord Shiva. And as Ram is the only one who's able to lift it up from one leg, he's put it on his on the bottom, on the base of the bow. On the other end, he holds his hand, his left hand up, and he pulls it downwards. Now there are many variations of Ramayana, and one of the most beautiful interpretations of it involves where when he's bending it and he's trying to tie it, string it from his other hand, just for a fraction of a moment, he is distracted by the beauty of of Sita. And the moment he sees Sita, and एक सेकंड के लिए उनका focus हट जाता है, and he bends it too far down, and as all of us know, the bow cracks open, it breaks apart. And there's a huge dhwani, there's a huge noise which travels across the universe, and it awakens Parshuram, the sixth incarnation of Vishnu. And he's out of anger, gets up and he marches towards Koshala to say, who is this infidel? Who is this incompetent person who has such great strength that he broke the bow of my God? Such a person who does not have control over his strength does not have control over his mind. If he does not have control over his mind, he does not have control over his action. If he doesn't have control over his action, he will cause harm to the society. If he causes harm to the society, he deserves to be punished before he does that. He had his entire story and logic straight out over there. The guru of Ram sits over there, holds his hand. Vishwamitra tells to the king, Raja Janak, wait. This is the moment for Ram to show truly who he is or to learn a lesson. And there are always such educators in life. And dear teachers, and I'm sure you would have learned this, right? Educating is so much about building the right conducive environment for learning to happen, not just to transfer it from here to there. Kabhi kabhar, at the right moment, teachers choose not to speak. And you would probably create the best environment for a child to learn. And that's what the guru did over there. He did not speak. He said, Ram, let's see how you'll address this. He left it upon him. And as Ram addressed these angerful words of Parshuram, he looks at him and he says that, Parshuram, you speak about lack of control, not having control over mind and thought and doing harm to the society. Could you please reflect and look back of what your life has been and what have you done? This is Ram telling this to Parshuram. His anger is now flaring more and more. And as that happens, Parshuram says, what are you talking about, boy? Do you even know who I am? Do you know what I have done? He says, that's the reason why I'm telling. Out of anger, you destroyed the clan of Kshatriyas because they did something wrong with your father. You gave them punishment, and this is where I'm connecting it back. You gave them punishment to instill fear so that they don't repeat it the next time. But did that stop over there? You did it another time. You did that with the hope that now they will listen. Now they will get scared that this was not a one-time wonder. 2 times I have scolded them. I have given them a punishment, given them a consequence. It won't happen. You had to do it the 3rd time. You did the 4th time, the 5th time. You have now done this 21 times. 21 times you have destroyed the clan of Kshatriyas. You have filled great lakes, 5 great lakes with their bloods. And still, you see, your strategy of instilling fear, your dart, which is based on dar, is not working. Dear teachers, for the first time, Parshuram questions that if dar won't work, what will work? And Ram says, there is the answer to that. Rules, dart, consequence is not designed to domesticate a human like an animal. It is made to inspire a person to outgrow his tendencies to do whatever he wants without respect for consequences. And he says that inspiring people through an example is what you were supposed to do, Parshuram. That would have set the Kshatriyas in the right direction, not the fear of consequence alone. Rules are needed, but not with the intent of it. Dear teachers, आप जरूर एक चीज को याद रखना, God judges intention, man judges action. It is the intention which comes at the most highest level. What is the intent of your dart? आपकी जो intention है, वो और एक्शन दोनों जब एक ही लाइन में चले, then you create magic. That is an awakened and an enlightened and an open educator. That is an educator which will uplift the students whom they teach with. I ask all of you that this year, may your dart be so beautiful that it uplift them, and may your children understand the intent behind it. And Parshuram finally also tells to Ram, I drop my axe for the final time. I will not now raise it again, because the earth now has a leader who's going to show the way. And for him, Ram was that king. Finally, a line who can show what a good king can be. That was just one of my stories to explain to you the importance about why Dant cannot be based only on instilling and amplifying fear. Dear teachers, as I mentioned, uh, डर से और डर पैदा होता है. When it's dark, you can't make it. Darkness cannot remove darkness. Light can remove darkness. So you will not be able to get good results just by scaring them into something. आपकी डांट इतनी uplifting हो, आपकी डांट इतनी अच्छी हो इस साल कि हम आपके बच्चे आपकी डांट को आशीर्वाद के जैसे ले. May your scoldings be blessings for your children. When your children start feeling that, when your stating of anything becomes so revered by them, I think that you and I will move to the next level of teaching. And डांट भी दी क्यों जाती है? Why do we scold also? So that we can put them in the right direction. That's the reason why the second half of it is called Disha. And direction is so important. And for me, direction is everything. There's a difference between speed and velocity. All of us are educators, so we know that speed is directionless, velocity is with direction. So the direction which we go in really matters. As they say, a good educator, a good teacher tells a child where to see, not what to see. Just put them in the right direction. And I'll probably share one more story with you. And I hope you're enjoying it. Maybe let me do a quick check. uh, Jennifer, Nabita, Ankita, Preeti ma'am, so far has my voice and story been audible and understandable and relatable?
Yes, Mayank. Yes, it's really. I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying it. Just like a kid, to be frank.
It's amazing, my young. It's really nice to hear.
Okay, बहुत बढ़िया. So now you're going to love this story, okay? Because it's about direction and the power of a direction, and it's one of my favorite stories to tell. एक बार क्या हुआ कि there was a shilpi, a craftsman, right? A simple word for it, a craftsman. Now he was very famous because he used to make the world's best chillams. And chillam, as you know, is a colloquial, a local term for a smoking device. It's a very long piped one which is kept in the corner. Khatiya pe aaram se baith ke, elders are taking that smoke. So he used to make some of the best chillams of them. The entire society was fed up with him. That इन्होंने हमारे बुजुर्ग को खराब कर दिया, हमारे husbands को खराब कर दिया, हमारे बच्चों को खराब कर दिया, अभी और क्या बाकी रहा? The whole town used to talk negative about him, bad about him, and they were really, really fed up with him. And this man never paid a heed to what was being spoken to him. He continued because he was good at it and he had good business, so he kept on doing it. And one day, there was a saint who passed by that town, and he entered and he heard about this whole story, and he said that what's this so much negativity and talk about this man? What is it about him? And why does he not stop it? Then if you think that it's causing so much harm to you, why did he not go speak to him? And he says that, why would I go and speak? It's none of my business. He's doing his work, so who are we to stop him? But we obviously have an opinion. And teachers, think about this. Sometimes this happens in your school also. सब ने उसके बारे में बात की, किसी ने उससे बात नहीं की. We often discuss about each other. We don't talk to each other. हमारे स्टाफ रूम में ना इतनी सारी बातें एक दूसरे की होती है, एक से नहीं होती है. बच्चों में भी कई बार ऐसा होता है. Sometimes we talk about this child is this, that, इसका background, वो पूरी कहानी बना दी, पूरी MMS, mind made stories, MMS, पूरी बना दी. But कभी सच्ची में नहीं हम लोग ने सोचा कि क्या है. Because I've read this somewhere that if we were to listen to a student from his stories, from the angle of his stories, every behavior will make sense. You will understand why now it is this way. If we heard the stories of those child told by him and by his friends and whoever around him. And the same thing happened. And this man, he said that, okay, if you're not going to do it, I will. And the saint, wise as he was, goes straight to this man. And he says that I've heard that you've done so much in this, and you truly make amazing chillums. But I believe that you can do much more better. No one in this town believes that you can make anything else from a chillum. I believe you can. I want to ask you, I want to give you a challenge. Can you make a ghada, a pot for me? It's going to take you some time, I'm sure. But whether anyone believes in you or not, I believe. I think that if a person can make such amazing chillums, the same person only can make the world's best vase. He believed in him. He spoke to him when no one else even thought about it. And just for that, this man says, I don't know if I can make it or not, but if you believe me so much for the confidence that you're bestowing on me, I'm going to do this. Let me see what happens. Dear teachers, हम सबके लाइफ में भी ना कोई ऐसा एक टीचर होता है, एक पर्सन ऐसा होता है जिसने तुम पे तुमसे ज्यादा विश्वास किया. डियर टीचर्स, इस साल आप भी किसी के जीवन में ऐसा बनना कि you believe in someone more than even they believe in them. It's a very beautiful thing. And I have seen also, प्रीति मैम, अपने जीवन में खुशी मिलने से ज्यादा देने से मिलती है. To give happiness is more joyful than to get happiness. इसीलिए मैं every teachers day हर टीचर को बोलता हूं कि टीचर्स डे मनाना तो टीचर बनके नहीं, स्टूडेंट बनके. क्योंकि टीचर्स डे पर तो सबसे ज्यादा खुशी स्टूडेंट को ही होती है कि मुझे आज मौका मिला मेरी फेवरेट टीचर को बताने के लिए कि वो मेरी कितनी प्यारी है, वो मेरी कितनी दुलारी है. आज मुझे मौका मिला. डियर टीचर्स, देना is more amazing than this thing. जिस दिन आपके बच्चे भी सीख जाए, समझ जाए, I think you've done one of the most greatest service to the world. When giving becomes more enjoyable, blissful, and precious than just getting in life. Go-getters. The entire world is running behind saying that be a go-getter, be a go-getter. It's a very corporate-ish kind of a term. But I'm saying go be a go-giver. मेरे personal life में मैंने देखा है कि I've never seen the coffers of a generous man ever empty. Have you ever heard of a person becoming bankrupt because he donated too much? I haven't. Poor, yes. Bankrupt, never. In fact, those people who went behind money, only wanted money, they became poor. It's a very famous quote. Some people are so poor, the only thing they have is money. Think about that. So coming back to the story. तो क्या हुआ कि this man said, I believe in you. And he said that, okay, for you, I'm going to try this. एक महीना लगा उसको. After 1 month, he finally put all his effort and he said that, okay, this is what I've made. I hope it's good enough. He says, उस saint को वापस बुलाओ. I want to give this to him itself. And the saint comes. Remember, the story is about direction. The saint comes and he says that for the belief which you had in me, thank you so much. I really enjoyed making something else for a different, and I think I'm going to take this up. I'm going to do more. This one person's belief did much more than the entire town's talk and chit chat about him and gossip about him. And as he was giving this pot to this man, there is a third voice which comes. It's a fantasy story. This voice comes from the pot. And this pot says, and I'm going to tell this in Hindi for impact. This pot says, धन्य हो तेरा हे साधु कि तुम्हारे कारण इसकी सोच बदली. Thanks to you, O saint, because of you, the thinking of my owner, of my maker changed. इनकी तो सोच बदली, मेरे तो संसार बदल गए. His thinking changed. My entire world changed. And you know why? पहले मैं जलता और जलाया करता था. आज मैं ठंडा हूं और अब दूसरों को भी ठंडा करूंगा. Earlier I used to burn and burn others. Now I am cool and I will make other people cool. Why? Because his thought changed. कहते हैं कि लहर बदली तो किनारे बदले और नजर बदली तो नजारे बदले. लाइफ में इतनी सारी चीजें होती है ना, जस्ट बिकॉज ऑफ वन थॉट, जस्ट बिकॉज ऑफ वन क्वेश्चन. डियर टीचर्स, अपने बच्चों की जिंदगी में इतना आप अच्छा उनको डायरेक्शन देना, इतना इंस्पायर करना उस डायरेक्शन में जाने के लिए, इतना ब्यूटीफुल चित्र बनाना कि अ चाइल्ड सेज दैट दैट्स व्हेयर आई वांट टू गो. बट रिमेंबर टीचर्स, a true teacher knows the way, shows the way, but the third one is most important, goes the way. सिर्फ बच्चों को बोलना नहीं है. We can't talk about time management and be ourselves late. We can't tell about be fit and be ourselves trying to lose weight or to gain weight. Yes, all of us have shortcomings. No one's perfect around it. But इतना नहीं होना चाहिए कि कोई बोले कि आप तो completely reverse हो जो आप उनको बता रहे हो. कोई कोई खुद इतना गुस्सा नहीं कर सकता और दूसरों को बोले कि गुस्सा मत करो. Okay, let me ask a question. Uncomfortable question. I want every single person over here to answer on my Zoom. Okay, or probably let me ask on YouTube. This will be good. Okay, every single person who is listening now. Okay, I want you to tell me आप में से कितने लोगों को गुस्सा अधिक आता है, ज्यादा गुस्सा आता है. चलो बी ऑनेस्ट. ठीक है, अगर आपको मेरा सेशन अभी तक अच्छा लगा, इफ यू लाइक माय सेशन सो फार, हाउ मेनी ऑफ यू थिंक दैट यू हैव अ लिटिल टेम्पर प्रॉब्लम? Please give me a yes or a thumbs up or something like that. So I'll come to know how many of them, both on Zoom and on YouTube. Okay, I have my YouTube right over here. Let me see what happens with that. Okay. Jennifer ma'am, गुस्सा आता नहीं आता है आपको?
Not much. Not much.
Very good. अच्छी बात है. पर बाकी, पर मैं ये विश्वास करने को जरूरी नहीं कि पूरे हमारे यहाँ पे जो 11 लोग हैं कॉल में, इनमें से किसी को गुस्सा नहीं आता. So give me a thumbs up if that is there. So let me see if that goes across. So everyone who's on the Zoom YouTube thing as well, I'll get an idea if how many of you have an anger issue. So let us see that. Now the answers are starting to come in. प्रीति मैम, कहीं ना कहीं मुझे लग रहा है कि राणा प्रताप की आधी फैमिली इधर ही है. Very good. As they say, role modeling is probably one of the most important things for us to keep in mind, right? And the reason why I told this story was from that perspective itself, that हमारी लाइफ की दिशा खुद भी अच्छी हो, और अगर खुद अच्छी होगी तो दूसरों को हम दिखा पाएंगे. And probably that is something which I hope that every teacher keeps in mind, every teacher focuses upon and takes it from there to the next space. And finally, the third one, dasha. जब दिशा बदलती है तो दशा भी बदलती है. When direction changes, then your destination changes, your outcome changes, your circumstance changes. And I truly believe that in this time where there is so many more sources of happiness, but overall level of happiness is less. Yes, we have in the Maslow's pyramid, our bottom two have been taken care of, but on top of that, it's a massive level of fall. It's, I think, one of the longest studies done by Harvard University found that empathy levels have fallen down by, I think, 36% in the last 20 years or 25 years. That's a huge drop. That's a shocking drop, right? And even levels of happiness, like if you see the amount of people who are not happy, the amount of broken relationships, the amount of things are going around that phase, I mean, all of that is a fallen. Yes, we are living longer, but the quality of our life, like, that's something to think about. And somewhere we also have to understand that, and probably I'll give you three very clear things, and I hope this stays with you. If you want happiness and peace with whatever happened in the past, a clear conscience will save you. When all of your things are done with the right intention, if your conscience is clear, no matter what happened in the past, no matter how it happened, what was the outcome, you'll always be happy. Second thing is, if you have gratitude in your heart, you will be saved from the tensions of your present. तो आज जो भी हो रहा है, कम है, ज्यादा है, कैसा भी है, but अगर gratitude है कि I have good things in my life, then you will still be able to be happy with what you have. And if you want to be free from the tensions of the future, then it is only hope or faith, vishwas, shraddha, which will make you happy and remove that from there. तो अगर आपको मन से खुश होना है, अगर बुद्धि से खुश होना है, अगर दिमाग से खुश होना है, तो ये तीनों चीज आपको याद रखनी पड़ेगी. आपका पास्ट, प्रेजेंट, फ्यूचर, तीनों जब बैलेंस होगा तो ही लाइफ इज ऑलवेज अ कॉम्बिनेशन ऑफ सक्सेस. Success is also combination, and life is also combination of successes. When all three are balanced, that's when you'll be able to move ahead. And the third part of it, this dasha part of it, is so important. Right now in our life, our dashas are very different. Like for example, uh, schools may, I mean, we are missing the whole fact that children are there and not there. The whole new way of dealing with them. The economy is gone for a toss. People all over the world are struggling. So many of our friends have lost jobs. Probably you have a management who's really taking well of you, but then probably there's a pay cut somewhere here or there. And it's gonna, we've lost some people who are very dear to us. I have, I'm sure many of you have also. Looks very dark and dingy right now. But probably here's one more story. I'm assuming you're enjoying the story part of it. One more story which will really tell you the importance of hope. They say that if when all candles light off, it's the candle of hope which holds the potential of lighting everything up. So dear teachers, remember that the candle of hope is so important. I will tell you a story of a pregnant deer this time. तो एक हिरण थी. This deer was a carrying one, a pregnant one, and she was inside the forest, and she was very thirsty. Whenever any being is carrying, is conceived, she feels very, very thirsty. The balance inside the body of a person is just equal to the oceans also. So even there's a little change of the salt level, water level, then there are changes, and you can see around there. So she feels very thirsty. So namkeen bhi khane ka bahut man hota hai, for example. So she went out to the river over there, and she wanted to have some water. So she slowly dragged herself out, and she reaches the water. And then suddenly she starts to smell something burning. And as she turns behind, she sees that the fire has engulfed the entire forest over there. And she thinks that God is great, that, if I was there, then my God, what else could have happened? And she thanks God, and she moves ahead. And as she bends down to have some water over there, she notices that the crocodile is just at leaping distance from her, ready to make his kill. She can't turn around too fast. She's not as agile as first, but she is thirsty also. So she says that maybe I should move towards my right. So as she slowly starts turning towards the right while drinking the water, she notices that a tiger, who also now came out from the same forest, is now waiting to eat her up. पीछे जाओ तो आग में भस्म, आगे जाओ तो क्रोकोडाइल खा लेगा, राइट में जाओ तो टाइगर खा लेगा. अभी दूसरा एक डायरेक्शन बाकी रहा, लेफ्ट साइड. So she said that maybe I need to go the other side. The moment she turns towards the left, she sees that a hunter who also came inside the forest has now come out. And he says that if I've come all the way till here, I have to hunt something or the other. And he starts now taking an aim, just about to release his arrow towards the deer. He doesn't know he's carrying. Even if he does, will he stop or not? No one knows. Her direction say there is difficulty, something like what is happening right now. And dear teachers, this is something which some people go through almost all their lives. The ones who are truly in strain and in pressures, who have difficulties and pressures in their life, they go through this. And when all hope and everything goes back, which is, there is one direction which is still left. And this deer look upward. She looks up and she says that, hey God, you have brought me all the way till here. I'm sure that you will now manage and take things ahead as well. I have faith in you. I have hope. No matter what happens, I am going to try my best to survive, to live for my child. मेरे बच्चे के लिए मैं जीऊंगी. As simple as that. बाकी तेरे ऊपर छोड़ दिया. I will do my best and I will leave on God the rest. That is on him to see, but I will not. She said that I am not going down without a fight. I'm going to try my best. And that faith which she has, that belief which she has, not complete blind left faith. No, faith in herself, in the belief that I will not go down without a fight. I will live life on my terms. I will try my best until my last breath I will try. And what is beyond me, that I will leave. That I will let be. Dear teachers, I want to tell all of you, I know one thing which some of my best teachers had. They used to cry when I used to not be happy. ये आपकी इतनी अच्छी क्वालिटी है और इतनी आंखों में आंसू लाने वाली भी क्वालिटी है. कहते हैं जो दो बच्चों की परवरिश करे वो माता पिता, जो दूसरों के बच्चों की परवरिश में अपनी नींद को खराब करे, वो अध्यापक, वो ही टीचर होती है. And this is something which I think a lot of you also have, that you measure your success, your happiness by the success and happiness of your children and your students. That is the why you're so great. And as this entire thing happens, suddenly what happens, there's a huge thunder, there's this huge bolt of lightning which comes from the top, and this bolt of lightning directly hits the crocodile. जैसे उस crocodile को लगता है, जोर से shock लगता है उसको, and it just goes behind. And when there is a thunder, there is also when there is a bolt, there is also a thunder. जोर से आवाज आती है, जोर से लाइट आती है, तो जो वो hunter tha, the hunter who was there aiming at the deer, because of the sound, because of the light, gets distorted, gets scared, and leaves his arrow, that instead of going towards the deer, it passes the deer and hits the other side where the tiger was there. उस tiger को लग जाता है. Tiger is stronger, does not die, but it's harmed and hurt and thinks that the tiger might attack again. So he leaves. Hunter इस तरफ से बच गया because उसका arrow निकल गया, उस तरफ से tiger को लग गया तो वो निकल गया, lightning लग गई तो वो चला गया, and where there is lightning there is thunder. जब thunder होता है तो बारिश होती है. It starts now raining, and the entire fire which had engulfed the entire forest now is doused down, and this mother with a small baby inside now turns around, looks up again at God and says, thank you, and she walks back in. हमारे लाइफ में जो अभी हो रहा है, आप सोचिए यही है. This is what is happening right now. Try your best, whatever best you can do, because that's the only thing you can. उसके beyond करोगे भी क्या? Dear teachers, to be happy and to be healthy is to understand all of us are human. All of us have both limitations and infinite possibilities. Both together. You have the possibility to fix and to make anything happen, but you do not have the power to ensure nothing else happens. Things will happen the way they have to. Things will happen sometimes which you don't want them to happen. But what you do have is survival instinct. What you do have is adaptability. Let's focus on that. Mental health is about focusing on positivity. It's choosing where you spend your consciousness. Dear teachers, मैं आपको सीधा इस कैमरा के through I'm looking straight into your eyes and I'm asking you, where are you focusing your consciousness? Is your consciousness uplifting you in life? Is your consciousness uplifting others in life? Is it empowering them? It is recognizing the power in them? Or is it about finding why something is not going to work? And there are always some people like that there are two types of people. One who will find a solution to almost every problem, and second who will find a problem to almost every solution. ये लाइफ में होता है कि कोई ऐसे लोग होते हैं जो हर चीज का कुछ ना कुछ, ये ऐसा नहीं है, वो वैसा नहीं है, this won't work, that won't work, that time we did, this time we did. They will always find a reason. They're energy vampires in one sense of the word. बहुत ध्यान से रहिएगा. Be very careful of such people. Sometimes it's better to avoid it. That's the reason why Krishna is called as Ran Chhod Das. जो रण को छोड़ के भाग गया, who left the fighting, the battlefield and ran away. Because when you know you can't win, it's better to retreat. As simple as that. No dishonor in that. To know that today I'm in a bad mood, I'm in a bad mood. Accept it. Embrace it. And dear teachers, remember the power of prayer. This Hiran was just innocent. It made a prayer to God. Dear teachers, all of us make prayers. We make prayers, especially when our children go to exams. Please go pass kara dena. Please go night lena. Please ek topper nikal jaye. All of us do this. Prayer is talking to God. Meditation is listening to God. आपको सिर्फ क्वेश्चन पूछने से आंसर नहीं, जब आंसर दे रहा तो सुनना भी तो पड़ेगा. इसी के लिए कहा जाता है कि मेडिटेशन इज सो इंपॉर्टेंट, टू बी इन साइलेंस. एंड इतने मजे की बात है, टीचर्स, you are one people who tell silence the most in your life. But I also believe you are those people for whom silence is the last thing in your life. Because it's so packed with so many things. इतनी सारी चीजें होती है. तो कभी कभार कुछ मोमेंट लेना जहां पे आप एकदम साइलेंट हो. अपने आप की बात सुनो, अपनी आत्मा की बात सुनो, परमात्मा की बात सुनो, तभी तो सुन पाओगे जब बाकी चीजें ब्लॉक ऑफ हो जाएगी. Taking time for yourself is to get answers from the universe of how to deal with anything else. When the inward grows, when the inward growth happens, the outward reality will change. It will, my dear teachers. जब डांट मिली तो दिशा बदली, जब दिशा बदली तो दशा बदलेगी. It will happen. And this is the reason why we do this session of Dant, Disha and Dasha, so that this can move from one end to the other end of it. Dear teachers, as my last 2 minutes or 1 minute of addressing all of you, uh, now assume that I'm here, right, in front of you. मेरी आंखों में, मेरे चेहरे में, मेरी बातों में, मेरी आवाज में. In my eyes, in my face, in my voice, and in my thoughts. Imagine every single student of yours who has ever learned from you, who's ever taught from you, every teacher. On behalf of all of them, thank you so much that you did so much for us. Thank you so much that you do so much for us. And thank you so much that you will do in the future so much for us without asking or saying anything. There might be those days when we forgot to say something, or we did not live up to your expectation. We did something which let you down. Please forgive us, because only you as a teacher and a mother have those qualities, or as a father as well. Dear teachers, if we could pray for anything and ask for anything, it would be for your happiness. आप जिंदगी में, आप जीवन में हमेशा खुश रहे. May you be very, very happy and peaceful in life. And if that is not going to happen, may our happiness come to you. And हमारी खुशी आपकी हो जाए. और अगर वो भी कम ना रहे, अगर वो भी कभी जीवन आपको अच्छा ना लगे, तो हमारी उम्र आपको लग जाए. May you live longer than us. May you live the longest. May you always be happy. Dear teachers, it was my complete honor and my complete joy that I got your undivided attention for such a long time at the end of a long school day to speak to you and to simply celebrate you, to pay a tribute to you. And as they say, what you can do is what you can do. I don't know how much of something else I can talk to you and speak to you about, at least in this platform. Values, life skills, maybe I can. But from whatever time that I got from Preeti ma'am and from all of you, I hope this was worth your time. I hope I left you uplifted. And as I told you in the beginning, I hope you're going back with a pat on your back to make you feel that I am doing a good job. I am making a difference. I am building this country. I am building the fabric of family, society, and individuals. Because teachers, whether you know it or not, whether you accept it or not, you are doing it. So it's something worth thinking about. And with that, it's 4:58. So बाकी कोई टाइम पे शुरू करे ना करे, आप टाइम पे खत्म करना चाहिए. That's something which I'm trying and focusing and working towards. If anyone wants to ask me something, if anyone wants to share something, I'll be more than happy to answer, to kind of state it out. It'll be my complete honor around that. So yeah, over to Hita and Ankita ma'am. Anything else which if anyone wants to ask me or tell to me, even from the Zoom or the YouTube link, it'll be my honor.
Thank you so much, Mayank sir. As for now, we don't have any question, but yes, it was indeed an amazing and very inspiring session with all the amazing stories. And I would rightly say, like the name of the program, right? That Disha and Dasha. Yes, it's very well explained. The scolding thing, it's not only it's about scolding, but where we should actually give a feedback and how it leads to a direction. And the main three components of direction which you told, like not only when we make or show the way, but the teacher who goes in the direction. And of course, yes, when the direction is right, the destiny is also it goes in the correct way. And yes, of course, I really like this sentence when you told these days the teachers are building and making the planes. Yes, we know, with all the creativeness. and very rightly said the importance and gratitude, and yes, of course, it's very important that we all believe in ourselves. Yes, and that is where only when we'll be able to guide others, right? And yes, of course, I'm sure, with all the very nice feedback, yes, definitely it was a wonderful session, and I'm sure all of us will go with a pat back. So I, Miss Ankita, on the behalf of Department of Counseling and Special Education of Delhi Public School North, really a very big thank you to Mayank sir, to you sir, for your valuable time and explaining and encouraging us to prioritize our mental health as well. And I would also like to thank all the wonderful teachers who took out time for this session. Thank you once again. Stay safe and take care.
Thank you. I will end the live streaming now.